Rampage.
That's gnarly.
Yeah.
Like, especially out there. The heavy impact literally just blew my foot up.
You first properly threw your leg over a bike in 2018.
Yeah, over a downhill bike.
That's insane.
Yeah.
What else could be done around racing to encourage more women to get involved?
First of all, I'm going to say cutting it down to 10 in finals, big no-no. TV never does it justice until you're actually there and you're like, holy shit. A lot of broken bones, all in one go. 2 weeks in a hospital in America, 2 weeks in quarantine. That was the icing on the cake. Slow down.
Jess, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
New Zealand national champion. How many times?
4?
4 times.
4 in a row?
Wow.
Yeah.
Currently competing in the Downhill Mountain Bike World Cup for Cube Factory Racing, and you're also a Red Bull sponsored athlete. How'd I work that one out?
Couldn't tell.
That's a lot of boxes already ticked by the age of 22?
22.
And born in, I'm going to try and say this, Mount Maunganui.
I mean, I rate the effort, but it's Mount Maunganui.
I'm not even going to try.
No.
In New Zealand?
Yeah. Actually, North Island, so on the beach.
Okay, yeah, literally on the beach.
Quite literally, yeah. Yeah.
I was Google searching it and looking at the Google images around there. Why did you ever leave?
Yeah, I left because at the time I was ski racing, so I didn't ride bikes. Like, I maybe rode to school on a bike. Yeah, and then I used to do back-to-back, kind of move to Queenstown, do the winter there, ski race, go back to the Mount for summer, and did that for like a solid amount of years.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact number, but 8 or 9, something like that. And then,
Mountain bikes.
Then mountain bikes happen.
Okay, let's just do why mountain bikes. How did that come about? Literally
just like all my mates at school were all into mountain biking, and like our high school was literally at the bottom of the gondola. Whoa, so like you couldn't ask for a better spot. They were always like, why are you not doing it? Like, you should come give it a go. And then, just one day went with a friend from school, and that was it.
What age was that roughly?
I can tell you the year. That was 2018.
Not that long ago?
No, not super long.
Whoa.
No. Yeah.
So you first properly threw your leg over a bike in 2018?
Yeah, over a downhill bike.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And then how long till you started racing?
Did my first, there was like a little Skyline series running at the time, and I did my first race that year. Yeah. And then the following year I did national, the whole national series. And I basically won every round, and that was set the fire. So
how does skiing translate into mountain biking in that sense?
It's kind of crazy when you think about it, because there is a lot definitely it crosses over in a lot of ways. And I mean, there's other athletes as well. You look at Finn, I know Valley as well, and Millie, a few others. And they all grew up maybe ski racing. And just it's simple things like dropping your outside foot, like the cornering, all your weight's on your outside foot when you're skiing. Yeah. The speed, just confidence, line choice. Yeah. You don't think about that too much in ski racing. You wouldn't think of it as an outsider, but you really have to be so precise on where you're cornering. So
what style of skiing was it that you're in?
So I did slalom, Super G, and GS.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. So, a lot of it.
Yeah, a lot of it. Yeah.
I think exposure to speed, especially at a young age, is crucial, because I think for me, I approached mountain biking at much later, and for me at speed, even now, it freaks me out.
Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, I think it definitely helped, whether you do some sort of high speed sport at a younger age. Yeah. I feel like you can pick up some other sport and it normally goes pretty well.
125 hours or around once a year. That's the recommended service interval for a Fox 38 like this one. Or if, like me, you're planning on spending some of the summer in the Port du Soleil, then it could be a whole lot sooner. So to keep your Fox or Marzocchi suspension running silky smooth this year, then check out the Silverfish Service Centre. They only use genuine Fox parts when servicing, ensuring that your Fox warranty remains intact. Season 2 of the EMCB podcast is proudly supported by Silverfish. providing me with all the kit I need to survive a season here in the French Alps. Silverfish are also celebrating their 25th anniversary this year, supplying the UK with some of my favourite brands from the likes of Fox, Marzocchi, 100%, PT's, Michelin, Cushcore, and many more. Right, that's the end of the commercial break. Let's get back to the pod.
Now, I want to get straight into women in mountain biking because I know it's a big subject. And honestly, you are only the second person that I've interviewed for this podcast that's female. And we are 20 episodes. This will be episode 21 or 22 now. Okay. So that's a bit of an issue. But we're making good inroads. And I've been riding a Morzine this summer with my girlfriend, Jen, and she regularly notices that she's the only girl stood in the queue. And I mean, there's some big queues here as well.
There are some big queues. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this on a wet day or a dry day?
That's a good point. Yeah. I mean, that is definitely dry days. Like we almost exclusively ride dry days. I guess the question that I've got to ask is, how do we get around that? Like, how do we get more girls riding bikes and coming to places like this, which in my opinion are great for people of all abilities?
Yeah. I've definitely been in the line and there's been quite a few females, but I still know what you mean, because the line would be about 80% men, if not 90% men, and it's always been like that. Like, even I could talk about when I first started and there was like 3 of us racing and the rest were men. But I feel like we're on the right track, but it's just taking that time. And there's it's one of those hard ones where I think because there's so many men, just the females are a little bit more like, there's so many guys watching, and like that kind of pressure. There's no pressure. That's the thing. Like, you just do your thing and don't need to care about what other people think.
I liken it to the first time that I ever went to a bike park and I felt like intimidated by the environment. And I think that was a big part of it for me, was just like, because I was a guy and I was just kind of like, my mates are here as well, kind of in a similar position to me. Then it wasn't too much of an issue. I kind of got over it. But if you are the only girl in the group, perhaps, or you're coming with your partner or whatever it might be, it is quite an intimidating place.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
That is it. Yeah. I feel like there's not too much else to say. I mean, sometimes even I'm intimidated myself.
Sure.
Yeah, like it happens. I think everyone's in the same boat. So
yeah.
I think it's just whether you can step outside that kind of box of being just not caring as much.
Embrace it.
Yeah, exactly. Embracing it. So
Downhill World Cup is already a great example to show what's possible, I think. And what else do you think could be done around racing to encourage more women to get involved?
First of all, I'm going to say cutting it down to 10 in finals, big no-no.
Next question,
okay.
But let's do that.
I have big opinions on that one, just because it's like, even for me, I obviously didn't do juniors, so I went straight into elite.
Yeah.
And like, even then when it was still 15, it's like, wow, this is like hard. And it's supposed to be hard. Like, of course it's a World Cup, like it's the best of the best. But I think when you start seeing bigger numbers, or you want to see more numbers, the minute you kind of like cut that down, it's like, it's not appealing in any way. And I think of like, yes, the women's field is smaller than the men's, but when you look at it, it has grown in the last however many years. So I think the right direction would have been to add it, not decrease.
Are riders afraid to talk out against the format? Because a lot of people have been critical in the media, but do you find it's quite hard to voice your opinion?
Yeah. I feel like I also am just one to not really voice my opinion as well. Yeah, I still feel like I'm, like, it's weird to say, but I still feel like I'm new onto the scene. So like, it's one of the, you never want to say the wrong thing either, or be the person with this massive opinion. So like, I just normally stay shy and quiet.
I've heard Vali say before in interviews that she feels that there's not enough communication between the riders and the organisers. Is that still the case?
A little bit, from what I've seen.
Okay.
And we're like trying hard to have all this stuff happen, but then, it doesn't go very far.
It's going to take time, I think, isn't it?
I think so, but we'll see. I've heard some good things for next year, but we'll see if they really happen. So,
just for those that don't understand the sort of checkered season that you've had so far. Can we just do a very quick run through of what's happened?
Well, Val de Sol, obviously, I broke my hand. So, yeah, that was that. That was 9 weeks ago.
Yeah. And then you said you're only really just back riding the downhill bike.
Yeah, literally like 3 days. So,
And how are you finding it now coming back?
I've been there before, so
Sure.
yeah. I've had worse.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's nothing new to me, unfortunately. But yeah, I just had a good block of, I mean, I wouldn't even really call it time off. Like, I think I spent about the whole 9 weeks on my road bike. So
Fair play.
just
Grinding.
Yeah.
Good place to ride around here, though.
Although it's not very good when you want to go for a chilled ride.
No.
There's no flat. Like, no flat.
Yeah, we'll get onto your injuries shortly because we've got quite a lot to talk about there, haven't we?
Unfortunately, yeah.
How is your hand, by the way? Like, how
It's
you
good.
find?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Good.
So, yeah, we'll be good.
How long did it take for the media side of the sport to sort of the novelty of that to wear off?
Ooh.
Has it worn off? Do you still enjoy it?
I don't mind it. I don't think I've ever not enjoyed it or been like, camera in my face type thing. It's part of it. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I think the more you do it, the better you get, or the more natural it starts to feel.
Yeah.
At first, of course, it's like this huge, like, there's more cameras in my face, and like people asking me questions, and I'm put on the spot. But yeah, eventually it gets better.
It must be hard, like just being asked random questions just straight out of the blue.
It can be, yeah.
Let's find out.
Great.
You guys are like a traveling circus to some extent. How do you find life on the road?
It was hard. It is hard. I mean, I hear people from Europe complain about traveling for a week, and I'm like, try pack for like 6 months, like literally 6 months of your life, if not more than that.
Yeah.
It's hard. Yeah, it's really hard.
Yeah.
But
Do you get homesick?
I did in my first year I was here.
Okay.
Yeah, but not anymore.
No.
I actually just love it over here. So yeah.
Does here feel like home now?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's quite nice. Like, in a weird way, Morzine has some similarities to home. So
Okay.
yeah, it's like, it's quite nice once you reach that point, because at first it can be quite daunting. It's like, I'm all by myself over here. Particularly in those first years, like just coming on the scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now it's like, it's quite nice.
Who else do you like to ride with when you're out here?
Well, to be honest, I quite actually like to ride by myself. Yeah, I'm normally a very headphones in, music, big jam, by myself.
Okay.
So, yeah. But then, of course, on like a few days that I want to actually just ride my bike with friends, I'll go ride my bike with friends. But yeah, I'm a very in the zone by myself person. Yeah. So, yeah.
You've been riding with Sean like this weekend?
Yeah.
Or this week?
Yeah. She's been living with me for the literally since Leger.
Okay.
So it's been quite nice.
Nice.
Except, yeah, I mean, the whole plan was for her to stay, and then got to watch her go out and ride a bike for those painful weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
That must be difficult.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So I've been injured in the past, and I've had things that have stopped me from doing the sports I like to do. Like, I don't race or anything like that. But how do you find the mental aspect of when you do get injured?
It's a hard one, because obviously I think the way I look at it is that huge one that I first had in 2021 would have put a lot of people off.
Okay.
Like, I think a lot of people would have gone, nah, that's it. Like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
And like, I was so determined to come back, like, better and do, like, achieve all these things after that. And then, yeah, kind of the way I've looked at all these injuries, unfortunately, yeah, it's kind of just like I've always been like that. Like, something bad happens, and then I'm like, nah, this is like not going to stop me.
Sure.
But when I did my ankle at Hardline. That was really hard. That was a hard one. Yeah, particularly because it was so early in the season, and then like watching the rest of the races and the whole season, and yeah, just to be like sidelined again, I was like, oh, this is really hard. Like that was really hard.
Let's do it chronologically. So let's talk about Snowshoe in 2021.
Yeah.
Because that was, you talk about it being a hugie. I mean, explain the injuries, like explain what happened and then the resulting injuries.
I still want to say it was literally because I was this much closer to this little tree branchy thing's root on the entrance and literally just got bucked. To my back on the downside of the jump, and then a lot of broken bones. Yeah, all in one go. So
okay, so let's go through them.
Femur, ribs, wrist, collarbone, my L1, L4, like the transverse process, so your little ones off the side. Definitely gave my head a good knock too. So
wow. You learnt a lot about human anatomy after that one.
Yeah, I definitely did. Yeah.
So when you get injured like that and you find yourself laying on the floor, what goes through your mind at that moment?
I mean, probably in that time I was like, oh, got to get home now after this. Like, like especially because you're literally in another country. Yeah. And I think, at that point in time when you've got that many broken bones, it's quite scary.
And then, so you were helicoptered out and then found yourself in a hospital in a different country. Yeah. How long were you there for?
So I did 2 weeks in a hospital in America. Yeah. And at that point, COVID was actually like still a huge thing. Like literally the floor below was just all COVID patients. Wow. And then, I mean, I flew home, had to do 2 weeks in quarantine. So that was lovely. That was the icing on the cake. Oh. It's like left hospital straight into another one.
Does it get any worse?
Yeah, probably.
And then what was the most difficult part to recover from?
Sounds bizarre, but honestly, that one I didn't really struggle with too much.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm very lucky that I have a physio that I'm so close with at home in Queenstown. And like Pete was super helpful and like, it's just, I could talk about him for ages because he's been through all of this with me, like through literally all of my injuries. But yeah, like even just those first couple of days that we rode together, he was like, slow down.
Really?
Yeah. It's like, I'm going in front. Like, calm down. Yeah. So, like that was a really speedy recovery actually from all of those injuries. So, yeah.
That helps to be young, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. A little bit, yeah.
Okay, let's talk of pushing your limits. So hardline is something that we need to get onto. So both good and bad of hardline. So let's just first explain the hardline track in your words.
Scary.
Looks it.
That's kind of all I can say is like, it literally is scary and gnarly. And TV never does it justice until you're actually there and you're like, holy shit. Yeah.
How many times have you been there?
So I went twice.
And had you been previously as a spectator as well, or just?
No, I always wanted to, but I'd already like gone and scoped it out pretty early on in that first year that I went.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like, you'd already seen it before you like fully committed.
Yeah. That was like I have to go look at it first, then be like yes or no. And I went and saw it. I was like, I'm doing this. Yeah. Okay. So yeah.
Was there any aspect of it that you thought, okay, that bit is the crux, that's where I'm going to struggle?
Yeah. Like, it's so annoying because it's literally what I broke my collarbone on. But I remember just looking at the middle ramp and I was like, that's got my name written on it in some way.
Yeah. Is that because it's like dirt jump style?
Yeah, but the ramp had actually been set up in the park. I don't remember if it's that one or another one, but they have it set up in Dovey. So I have hit whichever ramp it is. I don't know. But it's more the way you come out of like obviously launching out with all the speed, hit the corner. Yeah. And you're actually almost like traversing on like a flat ground to like perfectly line it up. Yeah. It's a very awkward like the way it lines up.
And for anyone who doesn't know, it's like a moto ramp basically.
Yeah.
And so it's fairly narrow in the middle of the track and you come out of that fast left-hander and you've just got to like, how do you judge the speed for something like that as well?
You have to go, I remember the boys telling me that I needed to go slower than I thought I needed to go. Like
Okay.
it was better to actually case that jump in a way.
'Cause I've seen a lot of people land it in lots of different places.
Yeah. And I was like, I hummed it hard on it for ages because I was like, I should just do it now, like get it out of the way. Because I'd done by that point, I had like obviously the road gap, the 90s, and there was something else. I guess that middle ramp. And then that was it. Like, that was all I had to do, plus the on-off.
Yeah.
And, I was like, if I get this middle ramp now, then I can literally just do top to the on-off. And then I literally just have to do those 3 features, like, right after each other.
Yeah.
And, that was just it.
It's mad that you just, like, brush over the 90s. Like, just done the 90s. But I guess that is just jumping at speed. And
yeah, like, that one I was like, I could do... Yeah, like, I would hit the 90s. But, like, it just never got to get to do them, so, yeah.
You've done, like, some of the middle... there's that one middle drop as well that's after the big...
After the middle ramp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that looks wild. Like, the landing for that looks insane.
Well, it literally is completely blind until you leave the lip.
Okay.
Much. Yep. So, yeah. And it's quite... I wouldn't say it's very banked up. Like, it's quite flat landing.
Whenever I see people land off that, it just looks like squirreling down into a... like
Yeah. I mean, sick berm at the bottom. But
Yeah.
Yeah. It is quite hard. It's scary, yeah.
Okay, so, and then, obviously... just briefly going around it, so you broke your collarbone there, and then you also did your ankle in as well. So that was, you were being towed by Bernie at the time, is that right?
Yeah.
So what's it like being towed by Bernie into a feature?
Actually, it was pretty helpful.
Yeah?
Yep. No, he was, like pretty supportive. Actually, it was very helpful for all the girls that year. So.
And does that, for you, like to overcome a big feature like that that's on your limit?
Yeah.
What is the process for you?
Normally, I would pick someone that I can trust,
Yeah.
or that I've watched hit it, or has hit other things like that.
Okay.
Yeah, like even the year before, I was being very picky with who I was following, and actually a lot of them I did hit by myself because I would prefer sometimes to do that.
Yeah. Is that just to have a clear view ahead?
Yeah, almost. Yeah. And I feel like you get into the point where you've watched enough people and enough people are talking that you can judge it by yourself. And I think I was comfortable enough to do that on some of those features. But yeah, and then, literally just like followed Bernie, did nothing wrong, just the heavy impact literally just blew my foot up. And it was like really annoying because I'd hit that same feature the year before by myself. So I towed myself into that one.
Okay.
And then I was like, it'll be the same as the year before, landed. Yeah, like I say, fine.
Is hardline more stressful than racing, in your opinion?
It's just different, yeah. Like, the more times you've been to hardline, the less stressful I would say it is.
Yeah.
Like, for sure, the first times you're there and you've got all these guys that are literally like, go, 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 go. And you're like, whoa, hold up. Like, let me just get through this. Like, they go through it rapidly. So, like, I definitely find that the more racery free racer athletes do a lot better there.
Yeah.
And I think that's literally just because it is so close to how a race would be. And like that whole flow of like doing a track walk, doing your practice runs, but like your practice runs are like so quick. Like it's like, get through this feature, next one, like really rapid.
Yeah.
Like it really is. And when you show up there the first time and you haven't hit any of these and you're like, slow down, guys.
Yeah.
But normally they were really helpful. Yeah.
I actually popped in this year. I was driving past because I had a job nearby, and so I just went in to say hello to a few people. It does feel like quite an intimidating atmosphere when you've got all these like incredible riders that are just like, they're just chilling, they're just chatting to you, and then they're like, oh, we're going to go up and do another run. Are you ready?
Yeah.
And they'll go, yeah, sure, just helmet on, off we go.
Yeah.
It must be weird to just be like, yeah, okay, we're loading up. Off we go.
Yeah, you are. You almost are on a time crunch as well. Like weather.
Okay.
Weather's a big one there.
Oh, yeah.
We've seen. So.
Yes, I'm well aware of it.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's always a fight there for that. So
Rampage. That nearly was going to come about.
Yeah.
Tell me the build
Yeah.
up to that and what's happened.
Yeah, so I guess the dates, it really sucks actually because like I was really keen for it, and yeah, obviously like signed up. I was like, or like went through the whole process of like application, blah blah blah. Didn't really know if I would get selected actually, and then yeah, crazily enough, I did.
How
And
does that process work, by the way? Like, so you sign up, you express your interest.
Yeah, we do a few. You do like a video application and there's like a big doc thing to like fill in.
No way.
To like show your interest, blah blah. And then obviously they have all their big selection criteria as well. So all their judges and who they pick who is gonna obviously pick the athletes to come. But yeah, and then like my original thought was, it's gonna be like maybe a week after Mont Saint Anne, like knowing when it normally is in October, and then got the email and it was the timing was literally I would have to race Mont Saint Anne, trust my diggers to like build my line, and I'd rock up with maybe missing a day just based on like flights out of that area, like from Canada into there. Yeah, 2 days of practice and then try and compete, and it's like that's too much, I think. And I think the whole point would be to go and do the whole week, like do the whole thing and like actually be there for the whole experience. And then obviously like my race commitments, I can't miss Mont Saint Anne. Like even though this year like I haven't fully looked at it, but obviously with missing Leger, not finishing Val de Sol finals, and then that flat in Fort William, I'm like a little bit out for overall. So
Gutting, isn't it?
It really is, because I was like, I'd love to make it work, but it's one of those things where it's like if you get bad weather on those 2 practice days, and I've already missed a practice day, like that's gnarly. Yeah, like, especially out there, and like
it seems pretty cool as well because like the women seem to have like a standalone event almost. So I mean it's great that it's being treated in that way as well.
I am very gutted to be missing that one. I hummed and hard on that one for a very long time.
I bet.
Yeah.
Have you already got like an idea in your mind as to what like a sort of line would be that you'd like to build?
Yeah, I really wanted to go in like with something super techy, like obviously with downhill.
Yep.
Really techy, and then some trickable features of decent size. Just to really like showcase that somewhat of an inner free racer in me. I was really keen. But
is it like recreating a plenty steep?
No, maybe just straight down. But just like something super raw and like.
Would you be up for doing any of the like the Mad Canyon Gap type features?
Some of them, not all of them.
Okay.
Like because I went to Formation in 2021, so I have looked at a lot of those sites, and I definitely looked at a few features. I was like, you boys are nuts. Like,
sure.
Yeah, like it's, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. A few of them I don't think I would hit, but I think that's just.
So if Brendog like opened up some of his line and said, "Let yourself go."
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I'm not sure. No.
I've seen you hitting like big gaps and seen you also like only just making big gaps.
Yeah.
And it's like sometimes I'm like, fair play. That's like really ballsy.
Yeah. I just feel like you are literally risking your life jumping a canyon. So
yes. Yeah.
I guess that's whether you want to take that risk or not. Yeah. But I mean, either way, it was risky to just go to Rampage in general. So yeah. But I probably wouldn't go crazy with something like one of the boys are. So yeah.
Okay, let's bring things back down to earth a little bit, but we'll stay on the subject of pushing limits. So I've been out here for the season, and this is my first sort of full season in Morzine, and I wanted to take the opportunity to try and push my limits as much as I could. And like I live in North Wales, we don't have big jumps. We don't have big drops. We just, most people that live in North Wales are known for not being able to jump very well. There's a few people that will crucify me for saying that. But so coming out here, I was like, right, I'm going to start ticking things off. And just recently, actually, I was riding with my friend Rosie, and she is at a similar level to me. So we were like, right, we're going to go to Hattock, which is the black on Super Morzine.
Okay. I don't really know names.
Okay.
Well, but
so the black that's in the woods on Super Morzine, that's got like a few road gaps, it's got some dirt jumps, and then it's got like an
I do know the one.
Oakley road gap. So we started ticking those off one by one, feature by feature. And for me, the best approach was to see other people do it and then think, right, okay, I can see myself. It's almost like a visualization there. And for Rosie, she needed to see me do it. She was like, right, I know that.
Test dummy.
Yeah, she was like, I know I'm better than him, so if he can do it. And then sometimes I was towing her in as well.
Yeah.
Now I'm starting to look at bigger stuff. How do I go from jumping stuff that's moderately big to stuff that's, like, in my opinion, like quite a lot of airtime?
That's a good question. I actually don't know how to answer that one because I feel like it all just depends on how you feel on your bike. Yeah, like I'd hate to be like, I'll just go send it. Then, yeah, I don't want to be accountable for that. But yeah, I think like if you feel comfortable on something of a smaller size and it starts to get to a point where you're like, you don't have to think about it too much.
Yeah.
Then it's probably okay to potentially try something bigger. But I mean, I do the same thing. I like to watch other people hit it first before I hit something. So
yeah,
and
stepping it up is, for me, it's you know, it's scary, but that adrenaline rush and overcoming that achievement is worth it.
Oh, it's a really good feeling.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I can agree. Yeah.
So
but
yeah, I definitely want to make more efforts to do it. I don't know if I'm going to get a chance this season because it's, you know, we're running out of time. But the other thing for me as well is getting up to a level of strength at which I feel like I'm now strong enough to ride this.
In case you do a press up.
Yeah. And like my jumping technique is appalling. You'd laugh.
Okay.
So you would see that being strong is probably quite important.
Okay. I'm trying to picture it, but yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. Do you know the name of this podcast?
Well, isn't it just EMTB?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We better talk about e-bikes.
Oh, okay. All right.
Do you ride e-bikes?
I do have an e-bike, yeah.
Okay. If you got the stereo E160. Okay.
5.5.
Okay. How do you find riding that in comparison with riding like your downhill bike? Do you ride it in anger like that on steep stuff?
No.
You don't bother?
Nah, not really. I used to be a big like, I don't want an e-bike. Like literally, yeah. I feel like everyone was in the same boat. They're all like, I don't want an e-bike.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you get one and you're like, oh, this is the sickest thing ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've got one for here. Like it actually makes perfect sense. I also do have one at home.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't think I ride it like my downhill bike.
Do you not feel like you want to get out the bike park sometimes and go and like explore more?
Oh, I don't ride it in the bike park.
No.
Nah, not at all.
But I'm saying like in terms of having the option to go out and ride like aggressively, like do you not find, let's today go out on an e-bike ride and go and find some steeps out in the middle of nowhere?
I mean, I kind of do that because I go up to Neon and ride up there.
There you go.
But I thought you just meant like, do I ride it like super aggressively?
No, I mean like, do you ride steep stuff?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Yeah. So
Rewind.
Rewind. I was like, no, I don't ride it like my downhill bike. But
Okay.
I do take it up to like steep stuff and lomas and stuff.
Yeah. It's good, no?
Yeah. Oh, it is good.
Yeah.
I actually don't mind it for that.
The reason I asked that is yesterday I was speaking to Natalie Schneider, and she is a EMTB two times world champion. And she was saying, we were talking about sort of the image of e-bikes and also the image of downhill. So like many people say that downhill doesn't necessarily sell mountain bikes, but it does sell the image. And in my opinion, downhill has got that cool image that brands want to be a part of. How the hell do we get e-bikes to get that similar sort of vibe, that similar image? Because at the moment, there's still a bit of a stigma attached to it. And you were saying like, I don't want an e-bike. And then all of a sudden you got one and realized, hang on, this is actually brilliant.
I mean, we say that, but then I can't say old people.
Well, that's it, isn't it?
But it literally is like my mum and, well, my dad not yet. I haven't been able to convince him yet, but my mum has an e-bike and like all of her mates have e-bikes.
That's the problem,
Like,
though. That's the image
problem.
you're trying to shake
Yeah,
off.
I know.
As much as it's like great and it's getting more people into it,
Yeah.
and like that's amazing, but you're right. It still does have that image to some extent.
Yeah, that's a really hard one. Actually, when you think about it, it's quite a hard one.
Okay.
Is majority of people are literally like more in that age range,
Yeah.
like older, and then I feel like the athletes that have one is literally to go do something on a rest day.
Sure.
Or like maybe I could be wrong here. Maybe there are like stuff set for like when you're on an e-bike.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like it is more just to whiz around, have some fun,
Sure.
go burn the battery out till it's dead, and like try and get home with a flat bike. It's lovely.
It's easily to burn a battery out around here.
Yeah, true. But yeah, like I don't know. I just feel like there's that stigma stuck of like, no, you can't use you can't use a battery to get around. Like it's cheating.
Yeah.
But is it though? If you're in eco,
And also, who makes the rules?
not me.
No,
Yeah.
exactly.
So I don't know, but they're good fun. Yeah, I do love them. But
Good.
yeah,
I didn't get one liner out of you like Aaron. I said to him, do you like riding e-bikes? And he was like, it's all I ride.
I quite like the accent. That was quite spot on actually.
Yeah?
yeah.
All I ride.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
we're not going to get that out of you.
No. That's all I ride. Duh.
I saw you previously said that you tried your hand at enduro as well back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
What didn't you like about enduro?
No, I did like it. It's just not for me though.
No?
Like I just don't get the same adrenaline rush.
Okay.
That was the biggest thing. It was like, okay, I get to do X amount of stages, but it's just not one run flat out.
Okay.
Get to the bottom and you're either on the podium or you're not. And in all honesty, I only raced those enduros because I actually wasn't sure I was going to be able to race downhill in that year
Okay.
because our federation wouldn't let us.
Is that because of COVID?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So I like got entered into all the enduros for that year. And then, luckily like GT jumped on board and I managed to actually then be able to race downhill. So
Your life could have been very different.
it could have been, yeah. Could have been an enduro athlete.
Whoa,
Yeah. I
yeah.
know.
And then
But-
e-enduro.
Probably not. Probably not,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
we definitely got to shake up that stigma.
Yeah. I know.
Do you split your riding into training and then just riding for fun?
I feel like training should just be fun
Yeah?
in general.
Okay.
I think. Yeah. I don't know. Like, when I go for my training sessions, like, I'm obviously motivated because I'm going into it knowing that I'm doing this for a reason.
Yeah.
And, like, you can still make a training session fun.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's maybe something wrong if it's... okay, yeah, it can be, like, death at times, but, like, it's still fun.
Sure.
Maybe? Yeah. But yeah, like, I mean, I went out today, had to do like race runs.
Yep. In the wet.
In the wet, yes. But like, still fun.
And have you got like a schedule where you're like, right, today is Sunday, we're doing race runs?
Yeah, that's what my coach will set. So
Okay. What's tomorrow?
Downhill again.
Okay.
In the wet, probably.
Yeah, it will be. Mm-hmm. Plenty in the wet.
Yeah, lovely.
And
Scary.
Is that when most of your training happens, on the Plenty Hill?
Yeah, for downhill, yes.
And so does that mean that you end up becoming quite good at that style of track?
No, you got to change it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't just ride the same track over and over. I mean, it's the same with like at a World Cup. The whole point is to get faster, which you do because you're riding the same track over and over and over.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like if you don't change it up and like ride different styles of tracks, yeah, you just get stuck on the same one and you're like, oh, I'm going way faster, but am I going to be faster on this other track?
So if you have like a race like Leogang coming up, and then do you then think, right, I need to start doing like big jumps, I need to start doing this sort of style of riding?
In a way, yeah, actually. Like,
Okay.
even for Andorra, like, the whole plan was to, before I broke my hand, it was like, can we get a team camp going in Andorra or Ludonville or Champrey? Because they all have some sort of, like, similar the track conditions are like some way similar.
Yeah.
And I think it would be the same for any other track. Like I'm normally like, okay, where can I go ride that's got something similar?
Yeah.
But yeah, for now, literally, I'm just riding plenty just to get the feeling back. But yeah, like I normally will break out and go somewhere else and try and do different stuff.
Let's talk bike tech. Do you get excited about bike tech? Because like downhill bike's pretty cool.
Yeah, but nah. Like, I don't know. I'm probably like the most chilled person when it comes... no, I'm actually not going to say it.
Go on.
No, because I was listening to someone else tell me something about this person. I'm not naming names. And they literally have to measure, like, if it's a mil off, they're like, no, it's wrong. And I'm like, I'm not like that.
Okay.
But, like, I don't know. If I get, like, new techie stuff, it is quite exciting because it's like, ooh.
Is it Valley?
No.
Okay.
But, no. No, it's not. No. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just I feel like there's always stuff changing in some way. So like nothing ever really feels super special unless it's something crazy different.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you feel the new Grip X2 was like?
That was good though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really good.
That's a big step, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Especially for lighter riders, I feel like. Like my experience is only from riding it on the 38 and instantly I was like, oh yeah, like I can actually notice the difference. Like it's not just marketing talk.
Nope.
Have you been riding that for a couple of years now?
No, I literally got it first test camp that we did
Okay.
this year. Yeah. I was a bit later on getting it because of being in New Zealand, coming over. But yeah, no, like things like that I get really excited for because it's like, oh, this is going to help my racing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And did you notice it like instantly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was even when they did their little tweak as well the year before. Even when they did that, you still notice it as well. So
has that been the biggest sort of shift for you in terms of tech upgrades in recent times?
As in like just that
Yeah,
fork?
just the new damper.
Yeah, I would say so. For now, is
Okay.
I'm like trying to think about it, but I'm like, I don't think I've. No, I think it's just the only biggest changes were like fork stuff.
So when I was planning for this chat, kind of ran out of time. So I went on ChatGPT
Oh my god,
and I got some more questions.
great. It's okay. I use ChatGPT sometimes for my Instagram captions.
Do you?
Yeah, other people do it as well, so I'm not the only one.
Nice.
Yeah, you can't call me out on that one.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't feel guilty now then. So here's a ChatGPT question.
Mm-hmm.
What's something about you that most people might not know?
This is when I don't like interviews.
I wouldn't ask this question personally. I wouldn't ask
Yeah.
it, but ChatGPT did.
I don't know.
On the spot.
Yeah, it is very on the spot. I feel like there's just a lot of things that people don't know about me.
Music?
Yeah, I do love my music.
Yeah?
Yeah, like I own my own decks.
Yeah?
Yeah, so did a little bit of just DJing in my house. Like that whole off season, I literally just got into that. So maybe people don't know that.
Thanks for that one, ChatGPT.
Yeah, thanks.
If you weren't a professional mountain biker, what do you think you'd be doing instead?
Well, if I didn't join a team back in, when was it, 21? 22 with GT. Maybe that's another thing people didn't know. I was studying a Bachelor of Architecture.
No way.
So, yeah, I started that and then obviously started racing. And then you literally cannot do those two together. It's just impossible. So, yeah, maybe I would have finished that last year. So.
Whoa. What's your favourite style of architecture?
Oh, just minimalistic.
Minimal.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
So maybe I would have done that, or maybe I would have continued with my ski racing.
What's your favourite place to ride and why?
Like, does it have to be a racetrack or just anywhere?
Let's do both.
Oh, great.
Soz.
Well, I really like Val de Sol, which people are always like, why?
Yeah. Okay.
Don't ask me why, I just really do.
There can't be many riders that say that.
No, they don't. They really don't. They always look at me weird, like I'm crazy. Yeah, okay, I'm crazy. Bike park, I don't know. I don't really feel like I have a favorite bike park because lots of bike parks offer like different things.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm gonna stick with Coronet Peak for that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Out there.
home track.
Great. I'll take your word with that one.
No, it's a great track. Yeah.
It's so good you moved to Europe.
Well, don't say that. Ouch. No.
You haven't got a choice. I know. Yeah. What?
I'm just laughing at that.
Do you have any hobbies or interests outside mountain biking?
Music, art, skiing, surfing, golf. I have
Golf?
quite a lot.
Okay. What does a perfect day off the bike look like to you?
That's a good question because I hate rest days.
Do you?
Yeah, I really hate them. Like, yeah, trying to tell me to do nothing is really hard.
Okay.
Like, yeah, I get a little like kissy emoji on my like training plan because it's like take the rest day. Like, yeah, if
Please.
I enter something in, it's like take the rest day.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
depends. Like, I actually would probably prefer a rainy day
Yes.
because then I can actually just watch a movie and not feel guilty at all.
I agree. Like it forces you to stay inside and just be like, fine.
Yeah.
Like, can't do anything else anyway.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah, probably a rainy day just to chill out on the couch.
When the season's over, is it back to New Zealand for the endless summer? This is actually one of my questions.
Oh, okay.
Thank God we're off the ChatGPT questions.
I still thought this was ChatGPT, to be fair. No, I'm actually...
That's how good my questions are.
Yeah, great. No, I'm actually here until about like early February.
Oh, right. Okay. So you're going to do inter-season?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I really want to ski.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like, I think just for me with like, obviously the injuries and then like rehabbing,
Yeah.
I'd love to have like a proper off season.
Yeah.
And like be able to go and ski and like, yeah. And I feel like a huge part of it as well is like because everyone's here, like it's really cool to be able to like link up with people.
Yeah.
Not when you're like 35-hour flight away. So, yeah.
What are you going to do in October and November when the lifts are closed?
Finale probably. Or like literally go from Morzine and like go for a holiday.
There's always
something.
always
There's
e-bikes
always
as well.
stuff.
E-bikes.
Of course. But yeah, there's plenty to do and yeah.
Okay. Yeah, finally, where can people go to find you?
Instagram, Jess Blewitt _.
Okay.
Yep.
Jess Blewitt _. Thank you very much for driving all the way over here.
8 minutes.
8 minutes, was it?
Yeah, something like that.
And good luck for what is left of the season. And hope it goes well.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Cheers.